All right, welcome everybody to our webinar today for Big Club Network and the new BC Trader. This is actually our second webinar. We did one already and it was kind of on the opposite time schedule. So I know we have people all over the world. So one was kind of, well, this one's kind of at nighttime for one half of the world and daytime for the other half of the world before we had an opposite. We want to have a chance for everybody to be on live, and we are recording this, and we will have this up in the back office also. So the new BC Trader is an amazing, amazing tool to help all of us to make money basically in any crypto market. And we have Drew and Todd on. They are two of the creators of this. They have a whole team that work with them, and we actually got really, really lucky to find these guys. It was, you know, kind of a friend of a friend situation. And in a second, I'm gonna have them go into what they were working on, you know, and who they are and their backgrounds and how this whole thing kind of came about, because it's really kind of an interesting story. And then we're gonna get in and we're gonna go through all the different things about the BC Trader, because there's a lot of information. And as all of you guys know that are on here, that are in Bit Club already, when you started learning about Bitcoin, a lot of it was really, really confusing. But once you started to understand more and more and more, it got really simple. This is kind of the same thing. There's nothing that's really complicated about the trader. It just is a lot of information, and once you understand what you're looking at, it makes it really easy to use it. But a lot of people get a little overwhelmed when they first look at it, and there's so many different things and so many different numbers that are green and red, and they're like, I don't understand what's going on. So this is to help everybody understand everything that's going on. So let's jump in with Drew and Todd. So can you guys give us a little bit of your backgrounds and, you know, what you guys were working on and how this project kind of developed?
Yeah, I would love to. So Todd and I have been working together for several years now. We actually both have computer science backgrounds and have both worked in the tech and software industry for quite some time. A couple of years ago, we actually started working together on a pretty cool project that was built around collecting huge amounts of data from the internet, unstructured web data, and analyzing it with cluster computing and sentiment analysis driven by machine learning, and basically producing really valuable data for corporations. So, you know, both of us have experience with a variety of software product, you know, the products that we've built, but really we started working together on big data projects.
And when you talk about big data, how much data are we talking about?
Yeah, we're talking about terabytes and petabytes, actually. So, I mean, this is the kind of data that's so big that you can't really fit it on just any kind of normal computer, or even a really fancy home computer. You need special data centers that just really allow you to deal with the data. And then when you analyze that kind of data, it actually takes hundreds or thousands of servers at a time to unpack and crunch the data. And so, you know, our first project was really dealing with actually billions of unstructured data files, and then producing meaningful information out of those. So that's how we started hanging out. Both of us were really passionate about that, and that's what we were working on. Eventually, that transitioned into a different kind of product, though.
Okay, and so how did the BC Trader come about from that project?
So, you know, this is Todd. How's it going?
Hello.
You know, what we were working on was really interesting because we were getting a lot of insights from the data. And, you know, at the same time, we were, you know, getting into crypto and trying to figure out how to manage our portfolios. And we realized that, you know, some of the challenges around that were, number one, the markets are open 24/7, 365 with crypto. So, you know, you almost don't want to go to sleep sometimes at night without knowing what's going on.
Right.
And it's harder to get information and insight into, you know, the maybe the trends around crypto sometimes. So we had this epiphany one day where we decided, you know what, let's take this technology that we've developed with the capability to analyze large data sets and point it at the crypto market.
Yeah, I like to joke that we were too busy trading Bitcoin to pay attention to what we were supposed to be working on, and then we just realized that we could apply what we were working on to crypto.
Gotcha. Oh, that's awesome. So a lot of people think that maybe we just, you know, got this and white labeled it. This is for Bit Club only, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Nobody else has access to this.
Right. So we have something very special here, guys. All right. So I do want to go through the packages real quick and kind of explain exactly how everything works. Now, you are going to hear a few things on here, and when you're looking like at the packs, there's a couple things that the information's correct, but it's a little bit not correct. So you'll see that we have, like, it talks about 50 trading pairs. There's 50 trading pairs, but there's many, many algorithms with those trading pairs. And everything that they've built, what are the total available choices in the trader?
Yeah, there's actually several thousand. So, you know, kind of like we mentioned, we started with this really large scale data project, and because there's so many cryptocurrencies and so many different exchanges, and then there's all of these different algorithms and strategies that can be built around those, you end up with this huge permutation. And so we currently track data and signals on over 4,000 algorithm pairing exchange combinations.
Exactly. So there are over 4,000 possible algorithms that everyone could use, but just so you guys understand, they're not all profitable. Just because they're tracked and analyzed and it's possible to trade on the best possible trades, they aren't all profitable. And that's for a lot of different reasons, including the exchange fees, because your cryptocurrency that you're trading stays in your own trading account, but all the exchanges, they charge fees every time you do a trade. So if that trader does a trade for you, those fees are going to get charged by the exchange, and some of these just cannot outrun those different fees. So realistically, there's 100 to 200 that are really good, like, traders or algorithms that should be used. And today you're going to learn about, you know, how do you pick those good ones. But first, let's go through these packages. All right, so we got the 500 trader pack, and that is a 1-year license. You can use one exchange, and you can use up to 3 algorithms, and you can use up to $2,000. The 1,000 pack, again, 1-year license. You can use 2 exchanges, 7 different algorithms, up to $5,000 in your trading account. Or you can have more in your trading account, but you can only put up to 5,000 on the different algorithms. And then the 2,000 pack, you can use 5 exchanges, 15 algorithms, $15,000. And then if you have all 3, then you're the trader founder, and now you have unlimited trades, unlimited algorithms, unlimited exchanges, and up to $100,000 in your account. So if somebody, you know, has $1 million that they want to trade, yes, they will need to have 10 licenses, 10 founder licenses, and then, but they can have that $1 million on one exchange. They're just using the 10 different licenses. Now, a lot of people might go, well, why do you need to do that? The reason we need to do that is that there is a Wall Street company that tried to buy this trader for millions and millions and millions of dollars. And they want to trade tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of dollars with this trader. And if we made it where it was unlimited, then you would have some of these big money people that could come in for 3,500 and just load up with tens of millions of dollars on accounts, and it would just deplete what all of us can get profits from. They would suck up tons and tons of the profits, and it would make the traders a lot less profitable. So that's why there has to be a cap, because we're trying to make it for the masses, for all of our members, not just a few rich guys who can come in and dominate the whole thing. Am I correct in what I just explained?
Yeah, it's really important that for the product to stay useful for a large number of people, that you know, the volume is controlled and limited so that the algorithms don't self-defeat, right?
Yeah, we thought that, you know, the product would be more useful to a large group of people as opposed to a small group of people. We really want more people to get value and be able to leverage this to manage their portfolio. So that was a goal that we had from the outset.
It fits nicely with the purpose of cryptocurrency, which is decentralization and empowering people to take control of their own, you know, financial and currency situation.
Exactly. And later we'll also talk about limits. And just so you guys understand, there is a limit of only 150,000 of these licenses that are going to be sold. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more later on how that can be expanded. But the main thing is, as the cryptocurrency markets expand and the market caps go up from, you know, hundreds of billions to a trillion or trillions, then as that market cap gets bigger, we can add more and more and more. And also as more exchanges come out, we can add more and more and more. So, but at the moment, there is going to be a limit. And I mean, Big Club, we have, I don't know, 600,000 to 700,000 people. So really less than 25% of our members are even going to be able to buy this. So definitely, if you're going to be promoting this, don't be slow. I mean, I hope it lasts, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 months, but it could sell a lot faster than that. And then the compensation plan, it works the exact same as our mining pool contracts. So the 500, the 1,000, the 2,000, the founder, same amount of points in the binary, same level up commissions, everything the exact same. There really is no difference with the upfront, but on the mining contracts, there are repurchases where you're getting, you know, commissions every time there's a repurchase. Here, there are no repurchases, you know, weekly or monthly, but it is a yearly renewal. So you will get paid again in 1 year when everybody renews. So again, basically the same, just a little bit different with the ongoing. All right, so let's jump into the actual trader and let's show, once you've purchased it, you go in, the first thing you're gonna need to do is set up your API keys. So if you guys could go through and explain, you know, what's an API, how do APIs work, and how do they set up the API from their exchange into the trader, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the hugest priority here is protecting people's control of their own funds, right? So the idea being that when you keep the funds in your own exchange and this product interacts with them through an API key, users keep full control, and that was really important. So the way the product talks to each user's exchange account is through an API, an application programming interface. And basically what that is it's like, you could think of it like pipes to the exchange, and it lets this product talk to the exchange and back and forth and exchange information and actions.
Basically like a phone line.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's like a phone line. So the way that the product and the exchange know whose account is being talked about is with an API key. So an API key is like a secret password that lets the exchange know that, hey, the user has given permission for this product to get this data or place trades or whatever, and that the user is in control of that. So you can see on the setup guide, it has all the steps here, and there's all these tutorials and links to tutorials on how to set up these API keys. So it's a little different for each exchange, and it can be a little tricky the first time, but once you figure it out for one exchange, it's easy for the rest. So, you know, if you were to walk through one of these tutorials, you would just go to the exchange and you would basically create an API key. There would be a link and you would just, you know, create an API key and it would give you basically a secret password and a key. And you would
Can you
copy
show that quick?
Yeah, well, we can show. So this is where, for example, this account has a Binance API key connected. If we wanted to add another API key, like maybe a Bitfinex or maybe Poloniex or Kraken, you would notice that we could paste in the key and paste in the secret here. And we would just get those from Bittrex. And we couldn't really do a very good job right now showing it for every exchange. It would take us half an hour or whatever, but there's, you know, videos and tutorials available for that in the FAQ on how to create these.
And the tutorials are really good.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. You just go create one of those, you paste it in here, you paste it in here, you click save. It'll tell you if you've done it right or not. We'll check and make sure the key is a valid key. But there's a couple of tricky points that are really important. Each API key has permissions, and permissions basically control what the API key is allowed to do or not allowed to do.
Right.
So for example, most API keys have a view permission, a trade permission, and a withdraw permission. And so this product just needs the view and the trade. It doesn't need the withdraw because that would, you know, make the key able to withdraw funds. And this product doesn't want that, and it would never use that even if the key did have it. But, you know, that's a good way users can have peace of mind and know that their funds are totally protected and secure. They can't be withdrawn. So the product would only use the view and the trade permissions.
Perfect. Okay, so if anybody ever has a problem with this, you can always just do a support ticket through your BitClub Network back office, and they can always help you if you get stuck with anything. But it is pretty simple. And again, there's tutorials that will walk you through the entire thing. You're just going to click on where it says create API key. It's going to say, here's your API key, here's your secret code. You copy the one, go paste it, copy the second one, go paste it, hit connect, and it will tell you if it's connected correctly. It's really just two copy and paste. It's really simple. And again, when you're setting up the permissions, set it, you know, click on all of them except withdrawal. Just don't click the withdrawal one, but even if you did by accident, the trader's never going to do a withdrawal. Okay, so let's go. Now you have this set up. Now you're going to go in and start making trades. So now they go in, look at the dashboard. And one thing that's really cool about this is that if you want to, you know, let the trader tell you what's the best thing, you can click on the advanced, or actually you can start a new algorithm, and then that should bring up the best ones for the exchange.
Yeah, so it'll show you any exchange you have connected. So if you had 3 or 4 exchanges connected, you get to choose. In this case, it's just Binance. So we'll select Binance and continue. And it will show some really good options that are available based on what's in your portfolio already. And if you click one and click continue, it'll actually just give you a slider, a really easy slider to select how much capital you want to deploy on that algorithm. And then you can start trading.
All right, you said something there real quick, that it will give you the best options for what you have available. So let's talk about that for a second. If you're going to be picking an algorithm of a trading pair of, let's say, Bitcoin to Ethereum, you have to have either Bitcoin or Ethereum or both in your trading account. If you don't have Bitcoin or Ethereum in your trading account, you cannot pick that algorithm. Can you explain that real quick?
Yeah, so the way it works is the product will be able to allocate funds based on currencies that are already available in your portfolio. So for example, if you had Bitcoin and Litecoin, you could only trade on pairings that either had Bitcoin or Litecoin as part of the pairing, or both.
So if somebody had only Dash in their trading account and they picked a Bitcoin or Litecoin, they can't do it because the trader's not going to sell their Dash to get them into Bitcoin or Litecoin.
Yeah, in fact, the product won't even actually let them start that algorithm. It'll say, oops, looks like you don't have either of these.
So make sure when you're choosing an algorithm, you actually have those currencies in your trading account already. That's very important, because I've had people texting me going, Russ, I'm trying to pick this algorithm, but it won't let me. And it's because they don't have any of those currencies in their trading account. That's why it wouldn't work. Okay,
Yep,
so, all right,
we can just start this one, actually.
Cool.
If we go ahead and start it, it was suggested we'll put, $200 on it, and we click start trading. It'll actually pop up right here, and it'll start working, and it'll tell us this is what we allocated to it. This is when we started it. No trades have been made yet.
Awesome. All right, and then if you scroll to the top real quick, everybody, you'll see there's an advanced tab up there. If you click on the advanced, it will show you a lot more information. So at the top, you're going to see the actual algorithms that are running. Then when you go down, now you actually have a search feature. So you can search like exchanges, you can search like different pairs, you can search a lot of different things on here. And if you're searching for, I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter, search anything, it will bring up all the options for that search. So if you're just looking for Binance as an example, it'll bring up every algorithm that's available for Binance. Or if you're looking for Bitcoin, it'll bring up every algorithm that's available for Bitcoin. And could you run through, by the way, just all the different options that are on there and what everything means?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different algorithms available. So the first parameter we could search by here, look at, is these BX dash something. The BX is just an indicator that this is an algorithm you're looking at. So there's a few different indicators in play here. One of them is the T. A T represents a technical algorithm, which means it's based on algebraic and statistical parameters to trade. The number behind it means which type or which version of it. When there's an algorithm with an ML, that means that this algorithm has actually had its parameters enhanced with machine learning with a neural network. So
can you explain machine learning? A lot of people call it AI. Like, how does that work exactly? Like, how does it learn?
Yeah, it's kind of people kind of think of it as this magical super intelligence, and it actually is just some really advanced math is basically the way to think about it. So machine learning, is commonly what it's referred to when you train a neural network on a computer. So a neural network is basically a mathematical flow with weights and coefficients and layers, and basically neurons is what they're called. And it's meant to emulate the way a brain might work, roughly. That's why they call it a neural network. But basically what it does is it allows you to pipe in training data and create a weighted network that allows you to classify or regress outputs.
Okay, never mind. That went over my head. So in other words, it's really smart.
You could probably state it a little more simply to say that the training phase creates a statistical model that helps us make predictions.
Yeah, that's
gotcha. So as more and more data comes into this algorithm, it's taking that data and actually kind of updating its own code in a way to make changes to the way it's working because of data that's constantly coming in?
Yeah, it improves the way it makes decisions is the best way to think about it.
Okay,
So
that's awesome.
It improves its decision process.
Okay. And then the BX, that just stands for Bit Club.
Yep, just lets you know, hey, this is an algorithm, not a pairing name or something like that. So,
okay.
And the various number letter combos are which iteration of training set it was. So that shouldn't really mean anything specifically other than that, people might develop a preference for one or see better results on one or another. So people can kind of figure that out for themselves. Okay, so something else you could search on would be by exchange. So in this case, there's only Binance connected on this account, so Binance is the only option. But if you had 3 or 4 exchanges connected, you might want to select, I only want to see the algorithms available on a particular exchange. And then after that, you could search by a single coin. So let's say you had Bitcoin in your portfolio. You could come down here and find Bitcoin. Now it will only show algorithms that run on Bitcoin.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
And
let's
then,
show. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say let's just show all the algorithms here, and then go through and explain, like in the algorithm box, what everything means on there, like the low frequency, medium frequency, high frequency, the green and red.
Yeah. So obviously at the top is the title of the algorithm. On the right side is the pairing combination. So in this case, I believe this is Stellar against Tether. Underneath is the exchange, and then there's the time period. So in this case, 5 minutes. So that's how often this algorithm will analyze the available data and attempt to create a signal, whether it should stay neutral, buy or sell. And then over here, you have a low, medium, or high, and that represents the trading frequency of this algorithm. So in this case, this one's a low frequency algorithm. That means it might trade a few times a month. It won't trade very often. The mediums will trade several times a week.
If somebody picks a low, how long could it possibly be before they actually see a trade on the low?
You know, it could be a really long time, and in rare cases, they may not see a trade if the parameter threshold is too high, but usually it might be, you know, several days to a week or two. In fact, I started one just the other day that took about 4 days before it made a trade.
I have some, you know, in my account that I've been running for a month that, you know, have maybe made 2 or 3 trades.
Okay, perfect. So basically, for all you guys listening, if you pick a low algorithm and it has not made a trade for 2 or 3 days, don't think it's not working. It's working. It just was not supposed to make a trade yet. Also, if you start with only one of the cryptocurrencies, so here they were saying Stellar and USDT, if you started with only Stellar or only USDT, it might have made a trade into what you're already holding, but because you didn't start with both, it's just holding because it's not a correct thing to trade into the other one. So if you pick a low frequency one, you have to just be patient with it. If you want to see action, you're probably going to have to choose a medium one. So I'll let you guys talk about the medium ones a little bit.
Yeah, so the medium ones trade quite a bit more. If you have a medium one, you might see several trades a week or even sometimes several trades a day. Depending which medium, they'll trade quite a bit more. So in some cases, that has advantages, right? They may respond better to a rapidly changing market. They may more aggressively target market shifts. It also has some disadvantages, which is that it will incur higher fees. So sometimes the lows, it may feel kind of boring because they're not trading a whole lot, but they're also avoiding a lot of fees and they're looking at a longer trend on the market. The mediums will look at a shorter range trend. And sometimes that can be really great. You can see really high performers have back tested really high performance on mediums, and sometimes you see very high performance on the lows. There are highs as well, which trade many times a day, but those usually have poor performance due to the fees.
Right, and let's talk about that real quick. So as we were saying, like there are thousands of possible choices, but a lot of them are not good because you can't outrun the fees. And the best ones are listed at the top here when you search in the advanced section. But if you scroll down, you will see some, and let's go, before we get into that, just so you guys understand, when you see red and green on here, and right next to it you see 7 days, basically it is looking at the data from the past 7 days and saying, if you would have been using this algorithm and you started it 7 days ago, at some point in the past 7 days, and we'll look at this one on the top left here, if you would have started this one 7 days ago exactly, at some point in the past 7 days, you would have been down 0.8%. And at some point in the past 7 days, you would have been up 37.99%, so basically 38%. But at this exact moment, we don't know exactly where it's at. It could be up 20%, or it could be the worst at this exact moment. We don't know. But you can look at this data and go, okay, in the past week, this thing's done absolutely amazing. I want to jump on it. Hopefully it will continue this trend for the next week. There's no way to know what's going to happen in the future, but this will give you 7 days back data of what would have happened. So for me personally, I like these ones like the top right, that's 5.4% to 14.3%, because we know for the past 7 days, it's been winner the entire time. Same with the next row, the two on the next row, been winner the entire time, winner the entire time. So I like going for the ones that have been, winners, but at the same time, even the third one down the left, minus 0.1%, up almost 10%. So I wouldn't be too scared of that one either. So, but don't pick ones that are red and red is what I'm trying to tell you. There are some that it's just so hard to make money on. Don't pick those. I know a lot of people think, oh, well, if the algorithm's showing, it's profitable. That is not completely true. I mean, it's not true at all. We're showing you the data here of what is profitable. Again, there's thousands of possible algorithms here that are all built into it. They're not all going to be profitable, and a lot of it has to do with the fees. So for me personally, now you can choose whatever you want, but me personally, I'm going to be doing the ones that have very low downside, very big upside. And a lot of people, say, Russ, how much profit should I expect from the trader? It's going to be completely different for everybody. If you choose one algorithm and just let that one algorithm run for a month, we don't know where it's going to be on this list for the month. So it is possible you might pick a really good one, like the second one down that's at 2.4% to 9%, and that's on 7 days. So if you put $1,000 on that algorithm and in the first week you made 9%, you made $90. And now the second week it's trading $1,090 for you. And if it stayed that same thing and you made another 9%, you made that on the $1,080. And if it stayed there the third week and the fourth week, like it actually can compound itself. And that goes in another thing, like what about the limit? So if you have a $2,000 limit and you now have 2,300 trading in the algorithms, do you have to take money out? No, you do not need to take money out. As long as you leave the algorithm running, it will continue just to build and build and build and build on that account. If you change algorithms, or if you want to set up a new algorithm, now you're back to your limits again. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Like if you're compounding and your account's kind of grown and your limit was 2,000, and now all of a sudden you have 2,500 that's trading, you're making money on 2,500. If you want to change algorithms, you're back to your $2,000 level. So another thing to keep in mind there. But I'm just going to focus on all the greens because that's where the profit's being made. You guys want to add anything to that, or does that kind of cover that?
No, that's good. I think a couple of important thoughts are the past 7 days won't always perfectly match the next 7 days. That's really important to remember. But because we can't see the future, the best kind of way we have of ranking them or looking at how they're doing is what they've back tested to do over the last 7 days.
Right. The other thing I add is that these numbers on these algorithms will always be changing depending on market conditions. There could be market conditions that could be more favorable to medium frequency algorithms. There could be market conditions that would be more favorable to low frequency algorithms. So it is good to log in and check in on this from time to time and kind of see how the algorithms are doing.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Oh, and that's one thing I was touching on, is that if one person left you know, an algorithm running for 30 days, it can compound. But at the same time, if you're going in here every, 1, 2, 3 days looking at, different performers, and you're chasing the hot ones like this one that's 37.99, like if there's an algorithm that's really hot, you might want to jump on that, because a lot of money can be made really fast on some of these that are really, really hot algorithms. So if you just leave 1 or 2 algorithms running a long time, you could do okay if they're good ones. You could do really great if they're good ones, but at the same time, there's hot ones that pop up all the time. And then someone said, well, if something's losing money, should they stop? If you're using an algorithm and it's showing a minus, now again, this one at the top, at one point it was down 0.8% and then had a giant turnaround where it's up 38%. So if something's down, less than 1%, I don't know that I would jump off of that one. You might just want to wait on it for a minute. Also, can you guys scroll to the top real quick? Okay, so these are ones that you guys are running, and you can see you have 2 that are down, but they're down less than 1%, where some of these other ones are up 4%, up 3%, up 3.5%. One of these you just started, hasn't even made a trade yet, so you're at even. If someone was all of a sudden showing, minus 4% on one of the algorithms, me personally, I think I would just drop it immediately. What's your guys' take on that? Just get rid of that one?
Yeah, I mean, every individual is going to have to experiment and figure out what they like. But obviously, if you don't like the performance or you're not happy with what it's doing on that algorithm, you should, experiment and do what seems right.
Yeah, you have to think about just kind of take into account what's happening to that pairing. You might go over to the graph here on the right and try to understand the trend a little bit. Keep in mind, how long has it been running? If it's only been running for a little while, it might not have been running long enough to do its thing. So it's just going to be a kind of thing where you have to experiment with it and decide what works for you.
Right. And then, so can you guys talk about the algorithms real quick on how they're programmed based on market conditions? So if the market's going up or if the market's going down, like how it's built for the entire market, not just one trend or the other?
Yeah, so you'll notice that some of these say plus USD and other ones say plus crypto. So depending the direction of the market, right, like the idea would be that in a bear market, you want to accumulate as much cryptocurrency as possible because the prices are going down, so you want to take advantage of that. And in a bull market, you want to accumulate as much fiat or whatever fiat currency you care about as much as possible to take advantage of the bull market. And so the algorithms will make holistic decisions based on that context, right? This buy low, sell high. And so in some cases, they'll be growing crypto, and the market will shift and they'll turn to be growing fiat.
Right.
So
it is looking if the market's trending one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, all of these algorithms are doing trend analysis.
Okay, perfect. And by the way, everybody, if the entire markets, so as we've seen over the past little bit more than a year, that everything has gone down. Bitcoin's gone down, Ethereum's gone down, just everything has gone down. But with this trader, even though the dollar amounts in your account would be showing less, this trader would be trying to build you up more crypto. So it's not possible to make more dollars, and that's the thing about the crypto markets that a lot of people get confused about, because everybody's used to the different markets like stock exchanges where everything's based on USD, or on Forex markets where everything's based on USD, and everybody's looking at their profit based on USD, where here we all know that we're not really worried about the USD value. We're worried about our crypto value going up when the markets are going down, because we want to accumulate more Bitcoin, more cryptocurrency. So even if everything went down 50%, you could still see pluses on here on the crypto side because it's making you more crypto. But also on the other side, if the markets are just cranking up really, really, really fast, you might not be making more crypto, but you might be making more dollars. So it's always going to show you what you're making on here. So if you're making crypto or you're making USD, it's going to show you what your best performance is in that currency, just so you guys understand. And that's why you'll see some in crypto and some in USD.
We did have one thing we wanted to mention, which is to talk a little bit about how it works to start one of these in advanced mode. We showed the easy mode.
Yep.
In advanced mode, you might click one, like this one, and it will show you the available balances in the exchange, and you could then type an amount, like 1 Bitcoin, or you could, select a percentage, 25%, and choose one or the other. And then you can go ahead and start the algorithm. So that's how that works. But you might notice that some of these in advanced mode actually have locks next to them. And what that means is, it says here, to prevent poor algorithm performance due to excessive allocation, this algorithm has been temporarily locked. And what that means actually is that so many people have jumped on that algorithm because it performs, back tested so well in the last 7 days that it's actually been locked now so that it can't be added because the product doesn't want to self-defeat by having too much volume and swaying the price too much. And so there is kind of this principle in the product, not only is, the product have limited availability, but actually the algorithms, as they become high performers and then drop out, will actually have limited availability as well.
Okay. And so that's another reason, just so you guys understand, why we have to limit this, because some of these exchanges and the different algorithms could get overloaded. And Emmanuel, that's not possible if you don't have this exact algorithm. That's not even possible because this is showing exactly the low for the past 7 days and the high for the past 7 days. There's no way you could be outside of those parameters. You have a different algorithm or you're on a different exchange. It's not possible to have this exact one on this exact exchange. And again, there's thousands of algorithms on here. I doubt you have this exact one. Real quick, got a couple questions on here. Okay, so you can access BC Trader on your mobile phone just by logging into your back office. Yes, it is available. I know there's something that doesn't work on Apple. I think it's the advanced mode. I forget exactly what it is, but something doesn't work on iOS, but that'll be worked on. Can you guys add the following additional name, value pair? Look, more stuff will be added later. We don't get, look, stuff like this, when you're asking very specific things, do tickets, and that can get sent to those guys. Not really the place for it right now. Actually, there's a lot of algorithms that are working really, really, really well. In fact, I was just talking to one of the mega monsters, and he says in the past like week and a half or so, on his trades that he has, his account's up 15%. So I know it's working good for a lot of people. And again, this is going to have a lot to do with what you choose. Again, if you pick something that's not good, like some people have picked ones that are red and red, those are not good. They might be good later, but they're not good now. This is not a choose anything and it's going to make you tons of money. This will do 95% of the work for you. But 5% of you going and choosing the algorithms is a very important part of this. And again, I just try to keep it simple. And anything that's showing for the past 7 days that it's winning on the low and winning on the high, that's what I'm focused on. Again, if something is showing a good performance for the past 7 days, but there was a little bit of a loss in there at some point, I'll still chase those. But that's going to be, on you to go and choose these. This is not a pick anything and make crazy money. Also, do not go out and promote this to people as, hey, put your money in here, you're going to make 40% a month. That is not correct. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible, but don't ever do that. For the biggest reason is that if you set somebody's expectations that they're going to be making crazy, crazy money and they make 10%, they're going to be mad at you. If you tell people, hey, look, you can make some good gains here. You can make 7, 8, maybe 10% a month using this trader, and then they end up making 15% in a month. They're going to love you. But don't go out and even promote, you know, hey, put your money in, you're going to make this much a month. That's an incorrect thing to do. Don't do that. In a lot of countries, it's very illegal to do that. Unless you're a licensed financial, you know, person, which most of us are not. So do not go out and talk about, you know, what kind of performance. If you're running the trader, you can show your account if you want to and show how it's performing on your account and just let them, you know, see from there. But don't go out and start, you know, just telling people you're going to get this or this or this or this. Like it's just not good to do, and you'll end up shooting yourself in the foot. And it's just trust me, you'll do better just by using the trader, showing your actual results. The same as we all did when we started mining 4.5 years ago. We just showed our results. At API, Kraken. All right, yeah, so something like that, just do a ticket. If it's still showing results from a different one, just send a ticket for that so they can learn about it or find out what's going on. All right, I'm looking through my notes here, some other stuff we need to do. All right, so you guys want to show an actual in the exchange and show trades actually happening?
Yeah, so you can see, so if you click one of these algorithms, you'll actually see the list of trades that have been made for it. You can see there's been a ton of different trades that have happened on these algorithms. And so in the exchange, if we actually come over here to the exchange and look at order history, you'll see this huge list of trades that, you know, will include those trades that have been made in the product. So this is, you know, this is a real thing actually making trades.
This is a live account.
This is a live account. These are real trades that have been made from this account. And it's pretty cool to look and actually be able to make that connection and see, holy cow, these trades on these pairings, you know, you can see it in Ethereum, Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin. You can see the Ethereum, Bitcoin algorithms in here. Like it really does match up to what's going on in here. And so it's really exciting. Not only can you see those trades in here, but you can actually go into your exchange account and see those trades in your order history and know exactly what's going on. It's pretty cool.
All right,
so,
and now I have had people, just so everybody has, you know what you're looking for. I've had people that have come to me and go, hey, Russ, I started with 5 Bitcoin on this account trading with Ripple, and now I only have 4 point something Bitcoin on there. It shows I made money, but I'm losing money. I haven't made money. And what they didn't see was that they're now holding Ripple. And so understand, if you start with only Bitcoin and you go and look at your algorithm and it says you started on this date with this much Bitcoin and now you have this much Bitcoin, you also have to look at how much you now have of that other trading pair. So then they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that I had the Ripple. I'm up money. I'm like, exactly. So always be looking at that. Don't just look at it and go, I started with 5 Bitcoin on here and now I only have 4 Bitcoin. I lost 1 Bitcoin. You probably have a lot of that other trading pair and just didn't even realize it. And I have had people that had that situation, and then once they realized it, they were like, oh, now I get it. Yes, you can always stop a pair. In fact, you're looking here, the little red box there, all you got to do is click on the red box, and that will stop that algorithm. If you click the trash can, that will get rid of that algorithm and stop it. So if you just click the red box, it will stay there, but it will stop and it will say off. If you click the trash can, that actually gets rid of it off of your current screen on what you're using there. And again, if you choose a low frequency trader, and you'll see it on there where it says low, and it hasn't traded for 3 days, it could be 7 or 8 days before it makes a trade. So don't be impatient with it. Just be patient with it, or pick a medium. The mediums will trade more, and that way you can see action. Some people just want profits. Some people want to see action. If you're one of those that want to see action, you have to pick a higher frequency trading pair. Let me see here. What is the difference between our bot and others we have in the trading industry now? Well, they're all programmed differently. There's lots of different trading bots. And you guys want to talk about that? Because I'm sure you guys have looked at a lot of different trading bots. Can you guys just talk about what your experience is and this compared to other ones?
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, what motivated us to, in part, to work on this project was that we were so dissatisfied with what was out there. You know, before we built our own, we thought, well, maybe there's something good out there that we could use. There's a lot of big problems with them. Some of them run off your local computer, which seems sensible. You know, I should be able to run some software off my computer. But the problem is they may take days gathering data and trying to download it. And if they don't, you know, they just don't have that much access to data. And then what happens is, you know, you need to shut your computer down to do an update, and all your algorithms shut off. Or you want to check on the performance while you're out shopping, and you can't because it's at home running on your computer, and maybe the algorithms don't even perform well. So that was one problem. Other problems include that sometimes they're way too hard to get working right. So maybe there's a platform for trading, but it requires you to program to get it started, or you have to install all of these programming libraries and run all of these commands in the terminal on your computer. And it was way too hard to, you know, get started for the average user, right? You almost had to have a degree in computer science to even use these algorithms, you know. And then there's also the issue of supporting all of the exchanges. And so we already support a big handful, and we're regularly adding more. I think we have BitThumb coming shortly. So, you know, having someone behind it that's regularly working on it, enhancing it, and adding exchanges and pairings is really a key factor and a big differentiator.
Yeah, and I would say that anyone that did have the technical skills to try to run their own, bot on their own computer would quickly find that if they tried to support all these options across all these exchanges, they would end up needing a data center to do this. So because we are pulling down so much data from so many exchanges and running so many simulations so that we can train our neural network, we have something that someone else could produce, but it would take the kind of effort that we've put into it.
Yeah, and believe it or not, it actually is very expensive to manage this much data and compute these many algorithms. And so not only is it difficult, it's actually just cost ineffective to do it for yourself.
Right. I'd say probably the final thing is we are confident that this is much easier to use than anything else out there. We're computer guys. We're very technical. We played with dozens of bot platforms. There's nothing like this out there with this level of ease of use, which we think is really important if we're going to try to help more people. We've got to make access easier and kind of remove barriers.
Right, exactly. And real quick, that just brings up one little thing I just thought of. Last time we did a webinar, somebody said, all right, if I buy the $500 bot, how much am I going to make? And they were like, I don't have any other money to put into trading. So you're just buying a license. We're only selling the license. You have to have more money to do trading. So if all the money you have is $2,500, don't buy the 2,000 package and the 500 package. You buy the 500 package and you trade with your $2,000 and build your way up. So yeah, there are some people that just cannot afford this. that's why we have a business opportunity. They can go to work and earn money to have more money to trade. So, I mean, I understand some people don't have money. I mean, there's lots of times in my life where I did not have money. I just buckled down, went to work, and I made money. So that's the beautiful thing about Big Club. If you don't have a lot of money, you can go to work and make the money to put into this to then get these returns that we're talking about. Also, there's a lot of questions coming up here that we've already covered. So you guys might have to go back and listen to this recording from the beginning to get answers to a lot of these. The times, the 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, where these time frames meet. Okay, that is how often it's looking at data points. So if you have a medium trader that's looking at data points from every 5 minutes, it's collecting that data so that it can make trades. But you also have some of the low frequency ones that only look at data points from every 1 hour. It's looking at more long-term trends. So that's just how often it's looking at data points, not how often it's making a trade. It makes a trade when it's the time to make a trade. There is no set parameter of it's going to make a trade every 5 or 10 minutes or 1 hour, like on clockwork. It doesn't work like that. If it's not the proper time to make a trade, it's not going to make a trade. Upgrading from one package to the next. No, it's not possible to pay the price differential. You have to buy the whole package. There's no way for us to do that. Is there any signals or marks that our algorithm become profitable or lose? Yes, right here. You're looking at it right now. This is showing the live algorithms that are running and how much they're up or down exactly since you started trading. Also, let's go in and look at the account where the API will show their balances and everything. Okay, so on here, everybody, you can actually see this tied into the different exchanges that you have APIs with. So that way you can see your holdings. It will actually API in all of the information. And if you guys can talk about this and how sometimes APIs mess up, it's not on our end, that's more on their end, but just go through everything that's in this area for everybody.
Yeah, so up here you can see your total Bitcoin purchasing power, meaning how much, if you converted everything to Bitcoin, this is how much you'd have, and your USD net worth, which is if you converted everything to dollars, how much you would have. Beneath it, you can see a breakdown of your holdings by currency and then by exchange. So in this case, the exchange bar is just one color because there's just one exchange connected. And then you can see the holdings of all of the coins that are tradable in your account. So anything that could be traded on will show up here in this list. It will show the holdings, the USD value, and then there's a little graph over time. And so you'll see this wave up and down, but this gives you a good idea of how your portfolio has been doing since it started. And then, you know, as it grows, you'll be able to see sort of a holistic view instead of looking just algorithm by algorithm. You'll be able to see the USD here. And I think that there will probably be a Bitcoin line, not just a dollar line, added to this chart as well in the short term.
Very good. And then from time to time, people's APIs might get disconnected. Why would that happen? And why would some of their holdings not show up here?
Yeah, sometimes holdings don't show up if they're not tradable. So that's one thing to keep in mind, right? If you have a holding that the product doesn't support for trading, it will be omitted from this list just to not, you know, end up with too big of a list. And additionally, sometimes the exchanges, you know, crypto is a relatively new space still. And so sometimes those exchanges have little maintenance windows or they have little hiccups on their end. Certain exchanges have hiccups more often than others, as you'll discover if you connect a lot of exchanges and use the products. But occasionally, the exchanges during a big maintenance window, this shouldn't happen very often, but sometimes they actually do delete all of the API keys. In other occasions, sometimes their API just actually drops offline for an hour or two at a time while they undergo maintenance or have a bug on their end. So on our end, what will happen is, you know, if the exchange API goes down, maybe it's offline or something's wrong with the key, the algorithm will stop and it will turn to stop mode. And then if you click it, it will tell you the error of what went wrong. So it will say maybe the exchange API went down. or maybe it will say, oops, looks like the balances weren't right, or something went wrong. Maybe it'll tell you the API key didn't have the proper permissions. Maybe the API key is gone, because I know Binance several months ago had a big maintenance window and actually deleted most of their user API keys and made people start over. So there's various things that could go wrong with that, and the product will do its very best to tell you what went wrong so you can get started trading again as quickly as possible.
We also, if we're aware of any known issues with any of the exchanges or API keys or anything like that, maintenance windows or things that we're working on, we'll put a status window at the top of the product so that we can keep everybody informed about what's going on.
Yeah, so at the very top, there may pop up a little message that says, uh-oh, looks like Bittrex API is having issues, or maybe there's something wrong with Binance portfolio balances or something like that.
Okay, you'll have alerts, basically.
Yeah, that's correct.
Correct, awesome. Okay, all right, couple questions. If I buy a package of 500, then I allow it to stay for about 3 months, please, how much will I earn? We have no idea. It's impossible to say that. No, can't do a webinar in German. I don't speak German, but I believe there's German leaders that are doing webinars in German for this. Is it possible to buy pool 1, then pool 2, and pool 3 and be upgraded to 3,500? Yes. Will it short in the market or only longs? Okay, so generally when you're shorting or longs, you're using leverage and stuff like this. This is only trading from one cryptocurrency to another cryptocurrency. And I guess you could say Tether's not really a cryptocurrency. Kind of is, kind of isn't. So it will, it will trade in a Tether, but it's not, doing a long or a short. It's just trading from one currency to another currency. So no longs or shorts. But I guess you could say this is going long if you're trading into a currency, but it's just trading the trends of the market. Will it work for future exchanges? Yes, we'll be adding more exchanges. Can you use your daily earnings to trade on the platform? So when you get your earnings and you do a withdrawal, it's up to you if you withdraw that money and put it on your exchange. That's your account. It's basically your bank account. You do whatever you want with it. So of course, they're your earnings. You can do whatever you want. If you do a withdrawal, are you withdrawing earnings or total shares? Okay, that's up to you. If you have, $10,000 in your trading account and you want to take out all $10,000, that's up to you. If you want to take out 1,000 and continue trading, that's up to you. So you have 100% control. You can withdraw, leave it running, take out some, completely up to you. Yes, everything's being recorded. What happens to open trades if trades are open when API goes down? If the API goes down, there's no way for the trader to communicate with the exchange. So you will need to go and reset up that API so it can go back to doing its work. And that's the question, I guess. If you have a algorithm running and the API goes down, when you reestablish that API, does it connect right back again, or do you have to set up that algorithm again?
It will stay in your queue of my algorithms so that you don't have to go hunt it down, or maybe it gets locked up or something. It will stay there available to you, but you will have to start it again and reallocate the funds. So by the way, the product only uses market orders and it has a fill required system. So let's say there was an order placed just a few seconds before there was some technical issue. That order would still fill on the exchange, and then the algorithm would then pause or stop on the BC trader side, and it would have to be restarted. So that's another good idea why it's good to check in. I mean, we want that to happen as rarely as possible, but it does happen sometimes. And that's a good moment for people to come into the product and see, oops, this algorithm that I like, maybe I was having a good experience with it, I need to restart it because there was an issue of some type. Additionally, on some exchanges, the user is actually required to agree to a trading agreement before they start trading. And something we've seen on our side is sometimes people have started algorithms without actually having agreed to the trading agreement on the exchange. What ends up happening is the algorithm just runs until the first time it tries to make a trade, and then it will fail, and it will put up a message saying, uh-oh, looks like you need to go agree to that trading agreement on your exchange. So, you know, anytime there's a hiccup, the algorithm will pause and wait for you to take action to say, you know, I don't want to run this anymore, or maybe I do, because we want the user to be in the driver's seat.
Okay, perfect. And then Anton, I don't know why Trade Satoshi is delisting Club Coin. We are going to be working really hard to get that changed into an ERC20 token here very quickly, and then there's a bunch of exchanges that it'll be on. But I don't know why. I do know that they're delisting a ton of coins right now. Kind of the same as Bittrex. Bittrex delisted like 80 coins all at one time. And so from my understanding, they're doing the exact same thing. But yeah, as soon as we're ERC20 token, then we don't have to worry about that anymore, because ERC20 tokens are basically on, you can get on any exchange almost instantly. And Jorg's telling me, Jorg, one of our awesome mega monsters, Sunday he'll be doing basically this entire webinar that we're doing in German, and he'll be recording it. Conrad, I trade RVN, BTC, and algo buy in high position and sell in low position and made loss. How come it happened? That doesn't make any sense. I don't know how that would happen. And again, it's not been my experience and has not been the experience of other people. So I have no idea why that would do that. But if you're running an algorithm that's losing money, get off that algorithm and get on one of the ones that are making money. Will we have margin trading in the future? We talked about in the last webinar, it is possible, but that's almost like a whole different product. And margin trading can be very dangerous, like high risk, high reward, but I put it more on the high risk side. So it is possible. Don't expect it anytime soon, though. Yes, we will have this recorded. Yes, it will be available in the back office later. Can bot use stop loss option? Well, it kind of does that, but again, if you have an algorithm that's not making money, get off that algorithm and get on a different algorithm. I would say stop it, just get on a different one. Do we buy and sell like in Forex in this BC trading platform? Here the boss saying there's, yeah, no shorting, there's no shorting on this. And then Forex, again, it's not really buying and selling, it's trading from one currency to another currency. And that's this exact same thing. It's trading from one currency to another currency. So normally when you're talking about buy and sell, you're talking about USD, like you're buying Bitcoin and then you're selling Bitcoin for USD. That's buying and selling. This is not buying and selling, it's trading one to the other against each other. So, and what's the best exchange so far? I've been hearing from people they're getting best results on Binance, but Binance is one of the bigger ones, so there's a lot more trading volume on there, so the trader can do more action when there's a lot more trading volume going on. Am I correct in saying that, by the way?
Yeah, more algorithms will be available on larger exchanges. It is kind of a fine balance, though, because you know sometimes as a lot of people get into one space, other exchanges can also perform well, and that's why there's a variety based on locale and people's preference and past experience and the backtester, right? So.
Okay. I was running into a glitch with Binance where even though I should be allocated up to 100,000, it allows me to do up to 2,000. Is there a timeline on when this should be fixed? For something like that, send in a support ticket. I haven't heard that from anybody else. It could be that in that cryptocurrency that you were trying to trade, you only had that much and in that cryptocurrency, so that's all it would allow. But if that's a real thing and you have enough, then send a ticket so they can look at that. Also, there is a limit of only $10,000 per algorithm per license. So if there's an algorithm that you wanted to put like let's say you were trading $1 million and you wanted to put $100,000 on a certain algorithm on a certain exchange, you could do it, but you'd have to do 10,000 on each of your licenses, and then you could have 100,000 on there. But you cannot do any more than 10,000 on a certain algorithm from a single license. And again, that is so just algorithms don't get too overloaded from so many people trying to dump so much money onto it. Can I open the screen address? I don't know what that means. In case you mean I may buy a 500 package and still lose over time without my control since the system is fully automated. Help out, sir. Okay. So again, go back to the algorithm page, please. All right. So on here, and scroll down for me. Scroll down, and then oh wait. Sorry. Go to the advanced. All right, and then scroll all the way down. Just go all the way down, show all the bad ones. So if you go all the way to the bottom, you will see some that are all red. Like you can see these are all red. These are very bad, and we're probably going to remove a lot of these so people don't go in and choose these. But if you choose these, they basically cannot outrun the fees. And again, there are some of these that are just not good. You should never pick these. If they're all red, do not pick them. Only pick the ones, well, you can do whatever you want, but I am only going to be picking the ones that are all green because those are the ones showing really good results. Now, some of these can turn around in different market conditions, but in the market conditions right now, these are doing terrible. So you do not want to choose these. And when you say it's fully automated, it is fully automated on the algorithms that you choose, but you have to choose the algorithms. So that's why we do want to take out a lot of the ones that are just losing all the time, because some people just think in their mind, oh, if it's on here, it's going to make money. And that's not true. This is the thing where people are like, give me all the data. We give you all the data, but it's, again, there's thousands of them, and there's probably 200 out of the thousands that are good that you should be using. But if market conditions completely change, it could be a whole different set that are doing good. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, and that's why we still crunch the analytics on the ones that aren't necessarily performing great in the past 7 days, because as market conditions shift, they could become useful. So, you know, it will sort the best ones to the top, and, you know, those really poor performers may be kind of hidden from time to time, or I guess hidden, but they could resurface when they're doing well.
Yes.
Which is why we still crunch
them. Okay. I don't think bctrader.bigclub network is, well, okay, that's not a, you have to be logged into your back office to access that website. You can't just type in that website and it works. You have to be logged into your back office. That's running inside of BitClub Network. So you can't just type that in and have it work. So no risk of big losses when the API goes down. I guess all allocation per trade. Yeah, no, you probably not, because it's just making the trades like it's supposed to. But if the API gets knocked off, if it's supposed to make a trade, it's not going to be able to because it's not connected. So you need to put that API back together, but it's not like, you know, if the API gets knocked out, it's not like your money disappears. Your money's still in your trading account. Just the bot can't do the work for you. So you need to reconnect it. No, only contact support. Support can help you with anything. If there's something they can't help you with, it goes over to Drew and Todd and their team, and then they'll help you out with it. I mean, there are cases where, you know, support just can't help, and then support sends over the usernames and the issues, and then they go in and get everything fixed. So everything goes through support. If I have 10 Ethereum, I put 100% on the BC trader, such as Ethereum USDT. Can I sell to Binance 1 Ethereum, but on a Bitcoin trader? I don't understand the question. I don't understand. Where do I find the list of licenses you are selling? In your back office. If low allocation per trade, then it should not be a problem. Where can we get this recording? It will be in the back office. Yeah, the first one we did is already up in the back office, and this one we'll put in the back office also. Okay, if I put 500 in the pool club, how much Bitcoin will I earn in a 1,000-day contract? I have no idea. There's no way to know. Only scams will tell you how much you're going to earn in a certain period of time because they're just making up a number. And as we've seen, all of them go out of business. Is BNB tradable in BC Trader? Is BNB tradable in BC Trader? Is that connected in some of the algorithms?
You know, let's look. Nope, not currently.
Nope, not currently on there. Last webinar I mentioned we have 6,000 to 8,000 algorithms. No, actually I said between 4,000 and 6,000 algorithms. I actually have it written down on my piece of paper right here. So you heard that wrong, and it is between 4,000 and 6,000 algorithms. But again, we were just saying over 4,000. But again, there's only 100 to 200 that are going to be good at any one time. Can you correct? I say 0% have the likelihood of making money than 4%. I don't understand that question. What was the best result and worst in past month? Again, that depends on the algorithm. We have some that have made 40% in the past 7 days, and other ones that have lost, 20% in the past 7 days. So again, it's all on what you choose. The trader is not going to just pick algorithms for you, and if you don't have any of those currencies, you can't even choose those algorithms. So you have to have, certain currencies in your trading account to even use an algorithm. Let's see. There's plenty more trading licenses still available. I think we've sold, I don't even know, a couple thousand, so plenty more. What's the difference between last webinar and this webinar? We did it at different times. You cannot contact the panelists. These guys are busy trying to make this thing better and better and better for us. Licenses, I have to put some money for trading. Yes, you're buying only the license for trading. That is your own money, separate in your own trading account. You need to be a member of BitClub Network to have access to the back office. Does that mean I can be trading with both USDT and BTC to altcoins? Yes, absolutely. Again, you can go and look at all of the different trading pairs. There are tons and tons and tons. USDT and Bitcoin are only two of many, 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 many different cryptocurrencies that are traded on here. Lastly, in Forex, the person can double account in 1 day or in hours, or lose all their money in 1 day or hours. But I want to know, is it possible to do that in BC Trader? I ask this because I speak about low 7% in 1 month, while I can make 120% 1 day in Forex. Go do Forex. I think you're full of shit, excuse my language, but go do whatever you want. Who can I contact after webinar for some info? The person that told you about BitClub Network, please contact them. Please IOTA BTC and BTC USD. Those are on here. Well, not USD, but USDT, which is basically the same thing. I mean, real results, somebody who started already. We're showing you accounts right here. This is a live account right now that's running. All of these that you see on the screen right now are algorithms used on this actual Binance account that have been running, and these are making money. You have one here that's losing money, which is actually an Ethereum, Bitcoin, medium, that looks at every 5 minutes of data, that's actually losing 0.7%, but these other ones are making money. Again, if you think you're going to make a profit on every single algorithm you choose, that's just incorrect information. There's nothing that does that. We just need to be right more than half the time. I mean, if you have 11 algorithms running and 5 are losing a little bit of money and 6 are making a little bit of money, you're going to be profitable. That's the most important thing. But we have a way to get it down to where you can have 10 algorithms, have 9 making money and only 1 losing money or 2 losing money. So just keep that in your mind. How do you start? Just log into your back office and you can buy one of the packages. Yeah, if you get the 500 license, you can pick any exchange you want. At the end of the year, no, you're going to have to renew it yourself because we only take Bitcoin. There's no way to debit a Bitcoin account. It's not like Visa or MasterCard. Yes, a new member can buy only a BC Trader. They don't need to buy a mining pool. My guarantee to gain when I bought the 500 pool or while I lost, again, I don't know. There's no way to know in the future. I mean, we've had people asking that question since the beginning of BitClub Network. So far, nobody's lost, but I don't know what the future holds. It's impossible to tell. I mean, we're dealing with cryptocurrencies, which are still so new. And like when we started, the price of Bitcoin was at like $550 and came down below $200. And so many people were scared that it was going to go down to 0. And I would tell people, look, that is possible. That could happen. Me personally, I put $25,000 in the stock market a long time ago, probably like 10, 12, 14, 15 years ago. And I started day trading in 4 months. I'm sorry. Yeah, 4 months. Was it 4 months? Yeah, 4 months. I had 15 cents. 25,000 went to 15 cents. I was the worst day trader in the history of day trading. And so I know in the stock market, you can invest money and lose all of your money. And that's a licensed, regulated thing. In the cryptocurrency market, you could invest money and lose all your money. That's very, very, very possible. But the upside in the cryptocurrency market is so massive compared to the upside in the stock market. If you look at the past 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and people that invested in the stock market and people that invested in cryptocurrency, the people that invested in the cryptocurrency markets have made 20, 50, 100, 200 times their investment. Where in the stock market, you're talking about people making 2, 3, 4, 5 times their investment over the same period of time, if they're lucky. So downside to me is the same. Upside is so much more massive in the cryptocurrency markets. If I made 120% a day, would be in Bali right now, not a webinar. 120% a day would be amazing. I think it's available for everybody right now. I don't know if we opened it to everybody because it was just minors, but I think it's available to everybody right now. Peter said, stop silly questions, people. Learn and listen. Can new member only buy? Yes. For affordability, I think 500 is too high. To increase volumes, is it possible to introduce to it? No. In fact, I have a lot of people that have asked to stop selling the 500 package to only sell bigger packages, but we're not going to do that. Is there an easier way to get our cash into BitClub? No, we don't take cash. What are trading fees? You have to look at your exchange. All exchanges are a little bit different with trading fees, so just go look at the exchanges. Hey, by the way, if you guys ever want to jump in and elaborate, just let me know.
Yeah, no, on fees, the product doesn't charge any fees. In fact, it always tries to use the lowest fee option on the exchange. So no,
perfect.
No fee.
Kraken tells me to add a certain code for each API trade call regarding the trading agreement. Can you guys do that, or will I have to keep on talking to Kraken?
Huh, that's, we have seen a lot of trading agreement errors come from Kraken, and we will investigate that issue further.
Very good. And also, by the way, we're on a webinar now, so you guys are throwing stuff at me, but you guys can always send stuff like that to support, and then support can then send that to these guys. What means pairs? We already covered that. Just listen to the webinar from the beginning, see. Yes, if you have one that's showing a -10 to a -9%, stop it. Don't use that. They're red. Get out of the red. I need to continue compounding in my exchange until expiration of my life. Okay, so if you allocate, like if you have a 500 license, so you have 2,000 on your exchange, and you pick 1 or 2 or 3 algorithms, and you've allocated $2,000, and now it starts trading, and you start making profits, and now your account in those 3 algorithms is now worth $2,200, $2,500, $3,000. It will continue to compound and trade with all of that until you go to change or pick a new algorithm. Then it sets in those limits. Yes, this allows you to be the master of your own destiny. And yes, it is open. Okay, so somebody just let me know. Yes, it's open for completely new accounts to buy now. Is it possible to lose all money? Why minimum deposit is 500? That's not a deposit, that's a license fee. You deposit whatever you want on your exchange. You're not giving us money to trade for you. You're just buying a license. You have to do your own exchange and set the APIs. Trade pack developed for how long? 1 year. What's the difference between my live algorithm and discovery algorithm? The live algorithm, that's showing you what you've made since you've started the algorithm. And the other one, when you're looking at algorithms to choose, that's showing you the past 7 days, what would have happened if you would have chosen that algorithm 7 days ago. And that's the results up and down for the past week. So it's not showing you what it would be at this second, it's showing you the results at any certain period of time in the past 7 days.
We did just want to pop in and add that there could be some minor variation from that due to slippage or different exchange timing. That's a back test, so it's going to be as accurate as a back test can be. You know, people should expect to have seen something roughly like that, but it could be slightly off. We're not going to say, you know, it's going to be exactly to the percentage point what would have happened for every user.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of variables also. So
Sure.
just so you guys, if you guys understand buy and sell orders on exchanges, where if there's, you know, you have the buys and sells on both sides, and you have people that want to buy and people that want to sell. And sometimes those volumes are very high, where it's millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin that people are wanting to buy and people wanting to sell, and they're setting the price where they want to buy or sell. And so if you have an exchange where the volume's not that high, it could be tens of thousands. Well, if all of a sudden the trader goes to put in a trade, you could be eating up the order book one way or the other. So you could literally be moving the price because of the trader, and that's going to affect the percentages. So if you're doing smaller trades with a smaller amount of money, like if you have the 2,000 package and you have $200 on a certain algorithm, and it's just moving $200 one way or the other, that's really not going to affect the price. But if you have somebody that has 10 trading accounts with 10,000 for all 10 trading accounts on one algorithm, say 100 grand, if they do a trade, that could affect the prices. which could skew these percentages a little bit. So there's a lot of moving pieces in here. There's no way to get the exact because that's just doing it on a broad spectrum. It's not looking at if you're trading 200 or 100,000. I hope that makes sense. Let's see here. I get a negative balance after a trade. This means a loss, right? Well, when you say a negative balance, if you're saying, like, you got two different things. You have dollars and Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin and Ethereum and just everything were to happen to go down 10% over a 3-day period of time, and you look at your dollar amount, because you have all cryptocurrencies in that account, yes, it would show you have less dollars. But if you look, you might have more Bitcoin or more, whatever of these different cryptocurrencies. Same on the other direction. If it cranks up really, really, really fast, it's trying to make you dollars more than cryptocurrencies because the market value is high. So it doesn't necessarily mean, and again, if you have a negative balance after a trade, it depends. There's so many different ways of looking at that. We'd have to look at it and go, okay, it is possible that you lost. That is possible. And again, if you lost on a trade, just be patient with it or pick a different algorithm. If you get a positive balance after a trade, is it still a profit, even though the graph in my portfolio? I don't understand. See, Jacque, I don't understand, like you're giving me a scenario that I can't even visualize. Like, I don't understand. CoinPay's coming soon. Let's see here. Are you members? But is like now we're still registering as new members. No, you're not registering as a new member. You're just logging into your like you have your BitClub back office. You're a BitClub member. You are advantaged by being in BitClub. I don't understand that. Sorry. Okay, and I'm sure I missed some questions. There have been so many pop up here. I've been trying to catch them as I'm going. I think we got most of them. All right, so the main thing about this, everybody, is that I don't want people to think you just buy this, put money in your account, and then go pick, 3 random pairs, and now you're going to make tons of money and be rich overnight. It's not like that. You need to pay attention to this. You need to go log into your account. Yes. Oh, by the way, the profit loss calculation, yes, that includes fees in the exchange. Correct. That's why a lot of them, it's hard for them to make money because they have to pay the fees, and you just can't outrun the fees. So always be learning with this. Go in here. We're going to be doing more webinars. We're going to try to get you guys, even more and more understanding. I know a lot of people in BitClub, when you started in cryptocurrency, you had no clue what Bitcoin was, what a Bitcoin wallet was, what a blockchain is, none of that. And the successful people in BitClub are the ones that studied on their own to learn more and more and more about the entire cryptocurrency industry. This is going to be the exact same thing. You want to do as much as you can to learn about all these different cryptocurrencies, different exchanges. Go in here, play with this thing. It's going to be a learning experience, and we're going to have some people that will get, so-so results their first month or two. We're already having some people that are getting crazy results, even in this short period of time that we've had it running. So, it's going to be up to you just to learn some basics. All right, let me see here. when you choose a pair, Bitcoin, Ethereum, so you need Bitcoin in your account? Yes. When does the trade happen? When it's ready. Watch the webinar from the beginning, Rick. We covered all that in the beginning. If there's a member in your group that got the trader and you didn't get the commissions, please send a ticket. Find out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking at that. What the value today beats of Bitcoin Cash? I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now. You buy Bitcoin and send it to BitClub. Okay, if you're buying a package, you would pay the invoice with Bitcoin because we don't accept Visa or MasterCard. But if you're talking about for your trading account, no, you do not send us Bitcoin to trade for you. You are trading yourself in your own account in whatever exchange you're using. And again, I think right now we're using like 9 exchanges or 8 exchanges, and and BitThumb in Korea is getting added here in the next week or so. But we'll always be adding more exchanges. All right. Well, how long have we been on here? Hour and a half. Yeah, we showed the demo account already. It's actually up there. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on, and I'm sure you guys will be hearing from Drew and Todd in the very near future. And anything you guys want to say to wrap it up?
We're excited. We're working hard. This isn't something that's just been built and set aside. It's actively under improvement and adding data and pairings and improving algorithms and adding exchanges. And
yeah, stay tuned for new features coming up.
Very, very good. So, all right, everybody. Well, look, again, please, if you're selling somebody the BC Trader, make sure they watch either this webinar or the previous webinar, because there's so much information in here that they need to know. And if you're a leader that speaks a different language, please start doing webinars and recording them in the different languages. Get them out to your group, because we want people to understand what they're looking at. We don't want people choosing the wrong algorithms thinking that every single algorithm makes money. In some market conditions, they don't. That's why it's showing you for the past 7 days, this is where the market is. So pay attention to that, please, 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 please. So, all right, everybody, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful morning, evening, daytime, nighttime, depending on where you are in the world. Appreciate you guys. And thank you, Todd and Drew. You guys have a good night, and I will see you guys very soon.
Take care.
All right. Thanks, everybody.